Okay. Let's see here. Phoenix Fan Fusion. Huh. All right, we're back. I'm already live. Oh my gosh. Third time's a charm. I will be better. I promise. I know what I'm doing. I promise I know what I'm doing, guys. All right. So we are back on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. So go ahead and let's go ahead and introduce ourselves again. Chibi, while I go and clean things up.
Hi, I'm Chibi Raincloud. Been cosplaying for a while. We were just talking about I have a really, really fun new experience. I have SummerCon here in Washington State, which is an outdoor con. Have any of you guys been to an outdoor con before? Like, this is actually my very first time ever. I've done Renaissance fairs, which is always outside, but like, I don't know. I feel like this is different. So yeah, let me know.
I don't think outdoor, like we've had pop-ups, like tiny little pop-ups, which usually happen like outside in like a parking lot, but outdoor cons, no way, we can't. Even during, like, I think the only time we'd be able to is like in the middle of winter, and even then, like, because we have a little library con at Glendale Library Con in December, usually my birthday weekend, and that's still even pretty warm, and they have that outside the library. So, and then January is Tempe.
Back. I'm sorry, I have to mute
No,
myself.
You're good. So yeah, so summer cons, outdoor cons, not really a thing for Arizona. But yeah, so I'll introduce myself too while I'm here. Sorry, we'll get this momentum going back. We had good momentum in the last one. I'm Jinx Cosplay, guys. I am a cosplayer here in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been cosplaying for about 20 years, and yeah, it's been great. And Liz?
Hi guys, I'm Liz from Ambrose Cosplay, and I've been cosplaying for 10, 11 years now, and I'm one of the other Arizona-based hosts.
That's actually good, because like I think every time you guys introduce yourself, you're like, I think I've been cosplaying, like, I don't know, but it's been a long time now, 10 years.
It's been a while, yeah. I think, well, because I have like my projects, like starting from like some of my very first projects, like in my pinned stories on Instagram, and I have them labeled by year. And the very first one, I kind of just lumped together because I didn't have a whole lot in the beginning. It's 2011 to 2015. So I think that means 11 years because it's 2022, right?
That's right. It is. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's, and I think that you guys think like, oh, maybe it was like 6 years ago, 7 years, but it's like, no, like it's a good chunk.
Time has lost all meaning at this point.
Yeah. So, Cool Gamer, hi, hello, thank you for watching us from YouTube.
Hi,
you're awesome. Hi again.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, now I'm not even like, I'm trying to find it on Facebook. I'm just such a mess right now, guys. So, we got a like on Facebook, so we must be live somewhere.
Okay.
So
it's
guys,
on Facebook.
Yes. So we are going to talk about kind of the wrap up, our thoughts, our feedback on Phoenix Fan Fusion 2022. If you guys are not in the area or were not aware, it is the first Phoenix Fan Fusion since the pandemic. The last one we attended was in 2019. And there's been a lot of like hype surrounding this upcoming event because they had rescheduled it in January, which, like we mentioned before, January is the perfect time for con. It is so perfect. Like, I know it gets a little chilly, but I think we'd rather like be chilly than hot.
I was so excited to have it in January. I even had like a lineup of cosplays I could wear, like not in the summer. So I was so excited, and then I was very like disappointed that I had to change like the whole lineup because they switched it back to May. And like part of the problem, if you've lived here in Arizona, you've been to Phoenix Fan Fusion, like a thing that they do in Arizona is it'll be super hot outside, and everywhere inside that has air conditioning will be like a freezer. Like
Yeah.
it'll be so cold. So it's really hard to actually like plan any kind of costume because it's like, okay, well, what if we get stuck in line outside? You know, you don't want anything where the glue is gonna like melt. You don't want anything that's gonna get heat damaged or you're gonna be hot and overheating. But then once you get inside, it's gonna be so cold. So it's like you need to bring like a sweater when you're inside.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
I would just die. Like, I don't understand. Here we have like we have like 3 months of comfortable weather and then it's always cold. So like all of my costumes are like layerable except for like Aladdin, who's my like one summer costume.
You say like comfortable. I don't know. Like we don't have like our only comfortable weather is like January, maybe Feb, Like even January isn't comfortable because we get. I'm kind of a wuss. We get chilly. So. Yeah.
I always like, I don't know, like I want to do a con up there, but I'm also worried because I'm like, what would I even wear? Because I know I'm going to just be freaking cold inside, but I'm going to be, because we just don't have AC here. Like AC is very new to Washington because we've never really needed it. Last year was the first year that we hit like over 100 more than like 5 days out of the year. And so like, yeah, no, our average is 70. So like, I was like, I don't even have AC here. Like it's some of our like main stores, like Costco has it and like Safeway has it, but like anything that's not like corporate doesn't have AC. So like, I'm not even used to AC. And so like, I would be so cold when I was in the village. Like, I don't understand. It's so crazy.
Our personal air conditioning at our house broke last summer.
So did mine.
It was like $10,000 to replace the unit. And just if you can go without AC, like I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah, like because I own 2 homes, and then one home has 2 ACs, and I'm like, what the heck? One of those broke, but we knew they were gonna have to like replace it. But then our personal AC broke like a month later, and we're like, oh my god. So and yeah, it's tough.
I guess there's that split though, because it always makes me. I was talking to Sam right before SoccerCon, and I'm like, I'm trying to paint this piece, and I have to wait like 24 hours between paint jobs because it just won't dry. And I was like, I don't know if this piece is gonna get done by SoccerCon, just because my time to paint is like not there. And Sam's like, oh, I have to paint these 4 pieces, and so these 2 pieces, and I'm like, are you gonna make it in time? Like, you have to paint how many pieces?
We are very spoiled.
One of the benefits, right? When we were talking, I think it was on one of the streams, and people were talking about how long like they had to wait between like dry times. I was like, yeah, I don't think that's like, I think that's just an Arizona thing. They're like, oh yeah, I could put on like 5 coats in an hour. Like,
yeah,
sure
like here. So you know my Ochako staff, I painted that the night before I flew. So it's insane. It is insane. It's insane. Like I
had to I have to manage my time because I had to make sure that armor and the dice were dry before everything. And so like I was trying to bust those out, and then like I did all my sewing stuff last minute because I was like, I need to make sure these finish drying and the glue sets for my magnets before I worry about anything else.
I know, it's insane so that is a real upside to being in such a hot, like dry, high temp area. Literally like minutes between coats, like especially if you do it like outside. Well, I mean, you should be painting outside, but if you're outside, like, well, when I spray paint outside, I can usually spray paint, go do something else, come back, do another coat, whatever. A couple comments. Anthony Libran on Facebook says, hello, everyone. You look great, regardless of not being in costume. Thank you so much. I was thinking about swimsuit cosplaying since summer's right around the corner. And I don't get why we don't have a water-themed con, like Colossal Con. Like,
seriously.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think because we don't have like, well, we have the Arizona Grand, and we have, I think the Lodge or whatever, which is like a resort with the water park. So maybe those places might be able to host them. Maybe that's something we can figure out. Tori Penman on Facebook says, who's AC in AZ? Arizona does not break every summer. Right? It's like my sister just bought a new house, and she's like, yeah, the AC will be due to change in like a year. I'm like, change it now. Change it
seriously
now. Well, not now.
Change it before summer. We like even deliberately got ours checked in January because we were like, we know that I think it was like 12 years old.
That's about
we know that it's old. We know it's like, you know, it's kind of like on the fritz a little bit. and they were like, "It's fine." And then summer came and it just like died completely. I actually signed up for a bunch of summer courses just so I could like get out of the house because it was so hot during the day.
Oh
I
my
finally
gosh.
bought like a mini AC unit for myself because last summer was unbearable, and I worry about my cats, but like I was trying to keep them from like not going upstairs because the of course heat rises, and they didn't even care. Like they were just laying upstairs, and I'm like, you realize it's like 110 up here.
Well,
Like
cats
they
love
didn't
it.
care.
The
Yeah,
cats love the heat.
I was
Well,
so
like,
worried about them, and I came home and they were just laying in the sun. I'm like, okay, I don't worry anymore.
Like
our
when I let
old
my cats
dog
out.
would she would like do these rounds around the backyard where like I don't know, she's like guarding the yard or something, I don't know,
Right.
but like she would go out there when it's super hot and just like walk around in circles until she's like panting, and we're like, well, like come inside, like you know
Yeah.
how to come inside in the air
I
conditioning, like
know.
what are you doing?
I know when I let my cats out, so I let them out once in a while to just chill. And like one of my cats will cook. She's like, we go like because we have to go and scoop them, gather them, and like she's just burning. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like,
Like just
yes,
come back in, like you know
I
that
love
it's
it.
colder inside.
But she just like is so and she's gray. She's got like the gray tabby coat, so it's like you touch her and she's just like fire, and she's like, I love it. I'm like, what the heck?
Hi,
Lillian
Lillian.
Nelson, yeah, says hi. Hello, amazing human beings. Thank you for joining us, Ray.
Hello, Lillian.
It's hard to get units right now too.
Yeah.
So exactly. Hello, all. I didn't realize that you were front row in our. I believe that was you. You were front row in our Cost Talk Live panel. I'm so sorry if you guys are ever like around and I don't recognize you, like please, like you can come and say, hey, this is me, because I feel so bad when after I'm like, oh my god, that was I didn't save you, whatever. So yeah, because I don't know what outfit you're wearing, but you had like a white shirt and some crazy hair and hat thing. What was that character? It was really cool. But yeah, you guys are always free to come up to us and be like, hey, I'm so and so and I watch you guys. Like just remind us, because again, we can't really see your faces. We see your little icons. Doc Octavius, interesting. But you guys are always welcome.
Spider-Verse.
Okay. See, I'm so out of the Marvel MCU, but yeah, you guys are always welcome to come up and be like, hey, I'm Ray, or hey, I'm whoever. Because I think I saw somebody else at the kids fashion show, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so and so. Like, just don't feel bad. Don't be like,
absolutely. Like,
and like even now it's even harder with like masks and stuff. Like I don't even recognize. I've been friends with this human and cosplayer for like 10 years, and we decided to meet up at Emerald City, and I was so excited because I hadn't seen her since the pandemic, and literally walked right by them because I just did not recognize them in their cosplay at all. I even knew what they were cosplaying. Like I was looking for their character, and I just completely walked by them. Like I know it was the mask thing. I was like, oh, that was you. Okay.
Yeah, I always feel so bad after the fact if I wasn't like, and I'm like, I try to be warm and nice to everybody, but I'm like, our viewers especially, like, hey, I want to like always thank you in person. So after the fact, I always feel so bad. Anthony says, did you all enjoy Phoenix Convention? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was the best.
It was so
I think
fun
the
to
best one I did.
watch.
Oh yeah, that was probably the best Phoenix Fan Fusion that I've been to.
Oh yeah,
super fun. Made even better by the fact that I did not get sick afterwards.
Me neither.
It sounds like a bunch of people, I mean, knock on wood here, but like it sounds like a bunch of people, got sick both at Phoenix Fan Fusion and Star Wars Celebration. Which I mean,
oh my God.
con crud, I feel that was a thing before the pandemic was the con crud, but like especially now, like it's even more like a big deal, right? If you get sick after the fact.
Well, my cousin, he was at Phoenix Fan Fusion and I saw him briefly. He was wearing a mask, like a part of his character mask. And he has COVID. I'm negative though. So it was just like, whoa, Lillian says, I'm glad to know that won't come off as fan stocky. Never, never, never. Because obviously, guys, we do the show for, viewers as well. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're like following us all around all day and being like, I'm your best friend. Okay, that's a little fancy, but come and see us anytime. Ray said I chickened out on Saturday because it was so busy. So I did half a day. That's fair. That's fair. Anthony says, I didn't watch the seminars on your live streams. It's okay. They're always back up. Actually, I do have to comment. Our last live stream had some technical difficulties. So I've actually removed that. I'm going to make sure I removed it. And it will be edited and then re-uploaded. So we do apologize
They
for
were
that.
so fun to watch, though. I really enjoyed it. I watched you do the interviews on the couches and stuff, and it was so cute. I wish I was there. Like, it was really fun to watch you guys and like see everything happen. And I was fan stalking you guys as you guys were having your cons and like liking your pictures and stuff because they were so fun.
Next year, I'm hoping that we do the same thing, and then maybe you can come then. Because that'd be great to have like everybody.
Sam was like, okay, we want to get you this date, this date, this date. And it was just like the 3 dates that I'm like, I literally have plans like that week or the week afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you were definitely missed, Chibi, for sure.
No, we're discussing maybe me just coming up not during a convention. So I might just like come say hi. Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Right. I know it's weird, but no, because
we want you to come for Tucson.
Right, which is like back to back to another convention that I've already like dedicated myself to, and then like the next one we were talking about is literally like the other one I guessed at. So I'm like, I can't ask my boss for this much time off. She's already pissed that I'm taking off like a whole week in August, which is like the worst.
We have to get paid to do CTL full time, so you don't.
Like, I feel like that's not her business that you're taking time off, but I guess that's neither here nor there.
Ray says, I was going to say hi, but I didn't want to hold up anyone up for their next panels. I mean, you literally just be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I watch you. Like, we will like acknowledge, like, absolutely. I get it. Yeah.
Also, I was late for like literally every panel I was on. So.
We were so late for the CTL panel because Friday I was dead. If like I was done on if Friday was the last day, I probably would have slept the whole weekend. Right. I was so dead. I did not schedule a lunchtime for me on Friday. I was sat there and like ate. Somebody was so great to like bring me food and like and then I had to go and change. Let's see. PFF. Oh, Michelle. Yes, I saw you at the youth fashion show, and I'm so sorry I didn't like acknowledge you. I realized it later. I was like, oh my god, that is, I think I read your card as you're coming up on the walk with your kids, and I was like, oh my god, that's Michelle. PFF was really fun. I could find anyone
that couldn't maybe
couldn't. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yep, couldn't find anyone all weekend. I will talk about how little I saw during the event, which is good and bad, but yeah. So, but I will tell you guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and announce this right now. I am putting together a cosplay focused con. I trademarked the name so I can finally say it. It's going to be called AZ CosCon. I wanted to advertise it at Phoenix Fan Fusion, but it just did not happen. I had so much going on. So AZ CosCon will be in November, first weekend of November. So if Chibi is able to escape, it'll probably be great weather for you.
I'm sure. I literally guessed like I think it's like 2 weeks before I guessed at a con, and then 2 weeks after, 2 weeks after is KomoriCon, which is my huge competition con.
No, that's fair.
So like they're literally like bracketed between the 2 times I have to take off, and I've already like asked my boss for time off. So like I can't just take all of like half of October and November off, though I would love to.
I know. It'd be great if you could. If you can by some like miracle come. Like it is a 1-day thing, but we'll make sure that you can stay with me or Sam, and then we'll make sure that you have a great time regardless.
I'll see what I can wiggle out of my boss. She's just already so mad that I'm taking so much time off in October. She's like, why?
Oh
like,
gosh.
I swore to work the holidays. I'm like, this is a fair trade. Like I'm an easy working boss.
There you go. Yeah.
But give me Halloween off. That's all I want.
That's fair because there's way more people that want Christmas off than Halloween.
Exactly. I don't do any, like with my partner not like living with me, I'm like, I don't do anything for Christmas. So like Halloween,
and you get paid
to go do my competition, so it's fine.
And you get paid double, right? On like if you work on the holiday.
Our store's closed. Costco's are closed on every holiday. So
okay.
Yeah. So the day itself we have off, but like the weekend before is like crazy busy. So like you need double time. And so I'm like, I don't mind double timing during the holidays because I don't have any events going on. It's too cold in Washington. So like I'm super stoked though, because I'm going to go to KomoriCon, and that's in October. And it's their competition is super, super fun. And it's been like 4 years because something happened and I couldn't go for 2 years. And then a pandemic happened for 2 years. And I'm like, I'm going this year if my boss likes it or not.
So it's been like 4 or 5 years since you've been.
Yeah, so I'm really, really excited, and we've already got like our skit and our costumes for the competition figured out. We're starting to work on them now, so we just have to start like really getting the props done. We've decided in honor of Cardcaptor Sakura, we're working on some Cardcaptor Sakura stuff.
I've been rewatching it.
it's their anniversary year. So I was like, you know, I've always wanted to do Lee. He's literally been on my cosplay list my whole life. So I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, I've been rewatching it. It's such a cute, so cute. We have lots of comments, guys. You guys are all chatty. Thank you. Ray says, I saw Sam in the cosplay lounge, but she was busy there too.
I feel like we were also busy like the whole weekend.
I was about to say, wasn't Sam just going all weekend?
Sam was very busy as well. Like she was already busy.
Always though.
Yeah, she was already busy before we confirmed the Cost Talk Live lounge. So like anytime, just come and tap us, be like, hey, I'm so and so, and like even if we're just like 2 seconds, like, hey, like that's fine. I don't mind people coming up to me if I'm like, don't come up and try and like have like a philosophical conversation while I'm like adjusting my wig, but come and say hi and chat for like, you know, a minute or two.
Absolutely. I agree.
And Michelle says, that's okay. I almost cried. I just wanted my little one to try something new. The little Evie, their kid was a little Evie. We had so much fun at that youth fashion show. We actually took over the whole thing. And I was actually quite like honored that Mary trusted me and Sam enough to just take it over. So that was a lot of fun. And she said, I might be moving to Washington State in the future. One of the best cons is this is our Pacific Northwest expert. So
yeah, if you're in the Discord, or you can just reach out on me social media. Like if you have any questions about Washington State, I've been here my whole life now. I would say the best cons, it matters what you're into. If you're into video games, there's PAX. We have PAX in Seattle. If you're into comic books, we have a bunch of little cons. Like I know there's Mount Vernon Comic Con, and technically SummerCon is a Comic Con, the one I'm going to. But Emerald City Comic Con takes place in Seattle, so that's the biggest one. And then for anime conventions, I would say that SoccerCon is definitely, I think it's the biggest one on the West Coast. It's definitely worth going to. I dragged Sam and Jinx went this year, and so we got to do that. And then if you're willing to take a drive, Portland has KomoriCon in October. Maybe it's November this year, in the fall. And Portland is a gorgeous city. It's only like 6 hours away from Seattle. I think maybe it's only like 4 or 5. Like it's a day drive, but like that's one of my favorite conventions in all of our area because it's just small enough to be like, oh, it's fun and you can see friends and like hit a couple panels, but still see the whole vendor hall and like do stuff. But it's big enough that you can go to events and enjoy like big competition and other stuff. So like I always tell people go to Kumo because it's really fun. But we have a lot of little ones. Yeah, because I know we have like annual meetups and picnics that are just like the Seattle-like cosplayers and the people that are like in our area. We do like every couple month meetups. I know there's at least one every summer and then one every winter for Christmas. And then we have, because we have the picnic. And there's a lot of events that actually happen in our area now that things are happening again.
Yay! I know when summer comes, like all the meetups stop. So it's unfortunate.
It's exactly the opposite. Like we have like one meetup in winter and like the fall time. And then until like June, nothing happens. And then as soon as June happens, like everything's crammed into 4 months. Yeah. And then it stops again.
That's the thing is like we have to stop like April. Around April, it gets too hot already to be outside in costume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, April to I'd say
like
September.
Fast too. Mm-hmm. I feel like like there was a day in April where I was like I wore like a sweater to work, and then literally like May 1st, it was like, oh, and now it's too hot for that.
Yeah. We got lots of comments. Oh, Lillian says, congrats on the cosplay con. That's super exciting. I know I'm gonna get like really on it. I know I meant to like work on it, but then like Phoenix Fan Fusion popped up, and I did not have time to talk to the organizers about. But I talked to them after. And they're like, well, the cosplay organizer said, yes, let's talk. That's all I can really say. But it's going to be super fun. Just one day, because, you know, we got to start somewhere. One day, I think, is more than enough. It's going to be in Chandler. So, guys, I'm so excited. So excited. We have a venue already. Super excited. Okay, Michelle says, Ray says, I meant to stop by the stream on Saturday, but I got overwhelmed at the vendor hall. I literally went to the vendor hall once to meet Jodie Benson, and that was it.
I was seriously like so kind of like overstimulated. Like that, I feel like Phoenix was my first big convention, like post-pandemic. And like there was just so many people, so many things to look at, like so loud, like just there was like a lot going on. I feel like I could not focus on anything. I went to the vendor hall for a little bit to buy I wanted to get a Keyblade, which I know you can like literally get anywhere, but like I wanted to get one and I like could not decide. Like I ended up not getting one because I was like, oh my gosh, like they're all just like so cool, like I want all of them.
And you're right, like I stop buying stuff in the vendor hall if I can buy it online, which I know sounds awful. But I usually buy things that are maybe more rare, or if they've got like Sunday deals, you know, I buy some of my figures on Sundays if they're cheaper. Or I buy Artist Alley stuff, which of course is
I'm
like
a sucker for Artist Alley.
I always get like prints. I've like run out of wall space because I have too many
buying prints. Yeah, I haven't put any of mine up. I have a collection of prints and none of them are up, and I feel so bad. I'm like, crap, I can't buy anymore, but I'll buy like keychains and pins and stuff.
It doesn't matter like what con I go to. I have this thing where I buy lanyards. So I have like a lanyard from every one of my cons I've gone to.
That's cool.
And yeah, and so like that's my thing is I will usually get like one print no matter what I go to, and then like one lanyard, and like those are my things.
Yeah, I like to get now pins. Like I know pins are like the big thing now, and stickers. I like pins and stickers. I am a sticker whore. It's ridiculous. So many more comments, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not keeping up. Lillian. Oh my gosh. Okay, Ray says excited to have a trustable con to check out. Thank you so much. Like this is like by cosplayers for cosplayers, but you know, everyone's welcome. It's not just cosplayers, it's cosplay focused, but everybody is welcome to attend. Lillian says Komori is in November because I can't overwhelm your partner with Penti.
Yeah, so my partner is one of the chairmen of Lillian's Con, and so gotcha. Like there's a lot of stress going on, but we're very excited to we're gonna both be I'm gonna be a guest at Pentacon, which is absolutely amazing. I'm so happy they'll have me again. Yay! And then like almost immediately after, we have to be geared for Komori Con and ready to go. So.
Oh my gosh, I get it. And Robert Webb, Papa Fallout says PFF was fun, very busy though. You guys, so they're the new AZ Republic, the Fallout group. I wanted to get them on the show, but every time they like are just like they're just either taking a break or they're like on demand. So like they obviously have such a presence when they're in suit, so it was hard to get them on the show. But you know, we will do something with you guys. And then sure. Yeah.
And the power armor is just too cool.
Yeah,
to like not do something.
And then they did the Mando group, and I was like, oh my god, stop, guys, you're way too cool. And we couldn't get them on because they were so busy. Papa Fallout says if Chibi can make it to TCC, we will cover her weekend pass. Oh, that is so kind. Don't know if she'll make it, but that is really kind if she can at the last minute.
You're so sweet. I'm seriously looking at my schedule a little harder to
trying to finagle.
Can, like cross it. Yeah. I mean, we just got a new manager, and I'm hoping that another manager gets hired soon, so our store will be a lot calmer.
Oh, there you go. Yep. And then so many Keyblades, Michelle says. I know, it's like I want one. I only played Kingdom Hearts 1, but I do want a Keyblade too. Ray says there's a big combination of things that contributed to a much bigger crowd than usual. Yeah, definitely. Oh my god, you guys are so chatty. I love it.
I know. I love talking to everybody. Oh my god.
Yeah. Michelle says, I try and buy up independent comics. Oh, that's a good one. There's lots of independent comics out there that I have not like experienced. That's Sam. Sam said she started like cosplay because she was selling comics at Phoenix Fan Fusion and then started cosplay. So,
I can vouch. Sam's art and comics are amazing. She does a lot of stuff for my D&D. I've hired her for a couple of my character designs. So
I can't even stand it, you guys.
No, I saw her and I'm like, Sam, I hear like these are my D&D characters. I will pay you whatever you want. Like I just need this to be drawn. And so
my goal was to like practice digital art a little bit every single day, so I can like one day get as good as Sam. And like I've not been doing that. You guys.
Oh, you'll get there. But you know what's so funny is she recently had that thing about the clip art. So she created this funny little Grandma Piggy.
That's right.
Yeah, that's Grandma Piggy art, and some company clipped it, but they did like the first company that did it, or the first website that did credit her, but then it went like wild after that.
I don't think they like asked her permission though. Like I think they just like linked it.
At least they linked it.
That's not how you do that. But
I mean, but at least they linked it. Tons of people share things without crediting it all. You know,
that's true.
I mean. No, whatever. It's but oh my gosh. Okay. Ray says no, it totally makes sense. I was trying to get an Umbreon and there were like 50. Found them for at least half online. It's the impulse buy that gets you the con. Definitely.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
for
that's
sure.
what we rely on. And that's fun. It is fun.
I like went back on Sunday because I saw some t-shirts that I thought my husband would like. Because like my husband is interviewing at other jobs, and he kind of was like lamenting that all of his t-shirts are from his current company. So he's like, I'm gonna have no shirts. So I saw a couple shirts that I thought he would like. But like the problem being that they were all out of like his size. So I got one for him. But like the other ones, like they didn't have a size. So that was kind of a bummer. I should have
That's such a dude thing.
Saturday.
That's
like
such a dude thing. Like, I don't have any shirts. Yeah.
But like because he's very like thin, but he's very like broad shouldered. So like I held up like a medium, and my friend goes, "Oh, definitely not."
His belly button will be so angry.
Like it's gonna be like a belly shirt.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a bummer though. Like I get waiting until Sunday because then you get like the good deals. But then like I was so bummed because I was like, oh, he would have really liked that.
I always wait till Sunday because that also helps curb like my impulse. So if it's gone, it's gone, right? So it's
I try to at least wait until the end of the day because I don't like carrying stuff.
True, that too. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm that person. I hate packing things.
Same at like Disneyland. I hate carrying stuff around, so I always wait until the end of the day.
Yeah, you always buy it on the way out. Tori says, "Happy it's in Chandler, no fighting the Phoenix traffic." And there's like kind of like a dead area, Chandler-ish area, kind of Gilbert. There's no real like geek events out there, so that I think this is really good, kind of to spread it out. Most of our events happen in like the central Phoenix area. Chibi's partner has been an epic aid this year to make sure we're organized so there's less stress, and we apparently get Thermo out this year too. I almost died when they announced that Thermo is in high demand. I mean, she's busy today, but
I mean,
she's in high demand.
Granted, all of you were invited, but it is a Canadian convention. But no, I'm really excited because it sounds like, I mean, I won't spoil anything, but we got some really amazing judges this year for the competition. So if anybody's up in the Canada area and interested in that kind of stuff, then look into Pentacon. I'm really excited. There's some really cool stuff going on. We got Sam.
Yeah, my goal is to go to Anime North because I have family in Toronto, and I've always wanted to go. And I haven't been in Toronto in so long. I usually try to go like every 5 years or so. So it's definitely happening soon. Lily says I have a soft spot for indie comics.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. TB's got to go early
today, but
no problem.
Bye.
It was so good to see you later, Chibi.
Bye. Wow, we're catching up so much. I haven't even really been feedback on Phoenix Fan Fusion, so that works because then
it's not. Feedback on Phoenix Fan Fusion is not relevant for this episode.
Yeah. Oh my god. Maybe we just chat. Michelle says you're a comic artist. I think. Are you talking about Lillian?
Oh.
But Sam is a comic artist.
Oh yeah, no, I am definitely not. I would love to do a comic someday, but
me too. I used to draw a lot. Yeah,
get much better at digital art.
Yeah, I used to draw a lot traditionally. I have not moved into I've moved a little bit into digital art when I got my iPad, but still I'm still learning as well.
I feel like I'm just such a slow artist. Like it takes me forever to finish a piece, to be okay, this is done now. I spent so much time on my her universe submission, just that illustration. And I only submitted one. I only submitted one this year, so
that's fair.
But anyways, I'm so slow at it. I wish I was faster, could just crank them out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I follow some digital artists and watch them create, and it's they do it in the fast forward mode, but I know it takes longer, so don't feel like you're slow.
The other problem I have is I use 5 billion layers because I want to be able to change things. And some artists, the artists that draw a lot, and there'll be those surveys that go around. They're oh, how many layers do you typically use? They're 3.
Well, even me, I've been using more and more layers too because I'm what if I mess up this and that?
Right. So well, I want to be able to change it later.
Yeah. And then if you mess up too, right? Because maybe that's because they're better at it. I don't know.
Right. So they only need 3. I'm I need 88.
I know, same. I was when I was designing, I designed something for my pageant, and I was I already had 10 layers on that, And I was oh my god, it's not even a complete picture. It's just a sketch. But so let's see. Ray says, yep. See it on Friday, think about it, and buy it on Sunday. Yep, absolutely. Yes. Lillian says, I want all of you. I wish I could just drop, just do this stuff full time. It'd be great.
Right? Same.
Michelle says, goals for Canada, go to CupoCon. Anyone. I'm going to all of them.
One.
CupoCon. I think is that,
Sounds like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I think it's like a final. Maybe it's because Kupo is the noise that the Moogles make.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then Lillian says art takes time. Brava for the billions of layers. I know, and that's the thing is like.
Right.
So we're kind of caught up. I've been kind of slowly sharing out because every time I share, I mute the video, but then it unmutes. I don't know if can you guys hear that? Let me see. Can you hear this? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's just me. I thought that every time that's so noob of me. I'm like, oh, can you hear this? I don't know, technical, whatever. No problem. Okay, so now let's finally kind of get into our wrap up of Phoenix Fan Fusion. So for those of you that were not in attendance or don't know what we did, I'll kind of go over kind of what we did throughout the event. So before everything, Sam always has kind of 5 or 6 panels. And then we hold on. Sam's like, why so many? I'm like, no, I'm just an idiot. That's what I'm going to tell her. She's like, why so many StreamYard links? Okay.
Poor Sam.
I swear, Sam, we can
Sam
do
is just like, what is going on the, I leave the stream for one day to take care of business and everything falls apart.
Right. I'm so sorry. So Sam does 6 streams, and then of course she'll ask for people for help. So I do a couple, Liz does a couple, whatever, this and that. And then we did they announced the hosts and judges for the masquerade, and I was a host, Sam was a judge. And then at that point I leveraged the CTL lounge. So I was like, hey, can I have a Cost Talk Live lounge, and we'll do this. So that happened a month out. And then we also did a panel. We scheduled the panel in addition to Sam's 5 or 6 panels. And then I got partnered with iFootage. So iFootage approached me, their rep approached me, who's a friend actually, and was like, hey, I have this idea. And that's when I pitched that to Phoenix Fan Fusion to have the Cost Talk Live lounge. So then we had to schedule about 2 lives a day to try and get, the interviews with the cosplayers, and we advertised that. Also to help traffic in the actual cosplay lounge that was sponsored by BRA, so the Blue Ribbon Army, which they've had for years, and it's just never as popular. So I thought it was quite busy this year. Maybe that was part of. Yeah, maybe that wasn't part of us, but I don't know. So we did lives. We streamed it with, the help of iFootage. And then we had to cancel a few. I just was like, it was exhausting. And it was only 3 days. So the con is usually 4 days. And I already felt like it was just not enough. Some people love it being 3 days. I don't know. I was like, that 4th day.
I really liked it being 3 days. I think 4 days for me is a lot. But we kind of had a 4th day if you include all of the setup, because we spent Thursday setting up.
Yes, we did.
It felt like 4 days because I think it kind of was 4 days for us.
Yeah, and it was hot too.
Oh, so,
yeah. So Thursday we had our setup at 1. And that was so crazy because we waited in our car in line for 2.5 hours. Was it 2.5 hours? Or an hour and a half?
It was a while. It was a long time.
Yeah, and then when they're finally let's go, I'm like, yay! And I peeled out of the staging area, and I'm like, I don't know where to go. And Liz is like, what? What do you mean? I really don't know where. Because it wasn't at the con. We were at a staging yard that was just a mile away or something. But I'm like, oh shit, I actually don't know. And then
right, we had all that time to prepare, and then they waved us through. We're like, where do we go?
We're like, wee, bad at hell. And I'm like, oh wait. So Sam had done, she'd done set up before, so she let us in, and it was so weird to be at the convention without attendees. It looked so big. It looked so big and empty. And it was so much fun. I was like, I feel so cool. So luckily we had 4 bodies. So it was myself, Liz, Sam, and then Matthew also helped out. He was one of our booth helpers. Yeah. And we all just went in one trip, dropped everything off.
And Matthew was amazing.
Yes.
All weekend as a helper.
All our helpers were so great. I don't know how we would have done it without helpers. We made it. Like people are like, oh, you guys are the ones that no, like we had a team and we had a good team, and that's how things were successful. But
it would have taken a lot more trips, that's for
oh
sure.
gosh, yeah. And I was prepared
Which
for
in
that,
the
but
heat is like no joke.
luckily though, I was surprised because I didn't know, like we went down to the basement parking and it was nice and cool. It was
Yeah,
so
that wasn't
good.
bad at all.
Yeah, so it was
Until
actually quite
I hope this isn't one of our viewers. Like somebody like brought in their trailer and got like stuck,
no,
like
they didn't just bring in
horizontally, like the wrong way.
They didn't
And
just bring in
like
their trailer. They had a ginormous truck, and then they had this ginormous, even ginormouser trailer.
I feel so bad when that, because like I can like feel like the secondhand pressure of like everyone waiting for you to move, but you've like maneuvered yourself so you're stuck like the wrong way, and so you're like doing like a 30-point turn to try and get out, and everyone's like, okay, let's like hurry this up. I could like feel the anxiety of like I tried the best
because we couldn't even get out of our spot, and then Sam was already out waiting, and I thought he was going in, so I was like, oh, I can maneuver
and he was trying to get in, but then like,
and then they were
was going like the wrong way, and so they were kind of like, no, like get out.
Yeah, they were like, GTFO, oh, Sam's watching us. They did not know how to drive that trailer. I was like, it was huge, guys. It was
neither
huge.
did I. Neither would I. But yeah, no, I agree.
It was freaking huge. Lillian says, in my dreams, I am going to all the cons. I mean, I back them on Kickstarter a lot. Is at KupoCon, and have an awful habit of giving giving comic arts free tables at my event. But that's kind of like the passion, right? Like when people ask me to teach them to sew, they're like, I'll pay you. I'm like, no, just come over for an hour. Yeah. I'll just, because I love to teach people to sew and like get into cosplay, and that I'll do. If you want to pay me, that's fine, but I don't need it. That's just something that I love doing. So no, I totally get it. Sam says it was such a narrow space for them. It was super narrow. It was like the lower level parking garage, but it was like a loading area. So one side you parked and the other side had like pallets, and they had these like pallet car things. It was
I don't know like how well I feel almost like once you get in there though, it's like, now what do you do? Because you're like, oh, like this is really narrow, but like there's only one way out. So
yes, and it was really hard because it wasn't like both sides were like parking spots. Like you literally only had like the side where there were parking spots, and it was filling up. So it was ridiculous.
Don't forget to announce the Gambit.
Yes, Gambate. Yes. So before I forget, because I don't want to forget. So it's the Ghibli Cafe pop-up. Yeah, June 18th at Miss Dessert in Mesa. That's in the AZ International Marketplace parking lot. So we are hosting a Ghibli-themed cosplay contest. And this is in part with Gambate. So if you guys have been to Gambate pop-ups, it's they're the ones putting it on, and we're helping them with the cosplay. So be sure to be there in your Ghibli costumes. Lots of Ghibli art, lots of Ghibli everything. Yes. So, okay. So going back to the setup. So what we did was, Lillian, you need to come to AZ. Absolutely. Yes, anytime you guys are in town, like, message us. I bought my ticket for Ghibli yesterday. Awesome, Amanda. Yay! We'll see you there. I know, because they've got to keep it kind of like tight. So we dropped everything off, and we had to like leave. We only had like a 30-minute slot. So then we left. We went back to Sam's. We did this in the most cost-effective way possible. So I just used my Jeep, and Sam had her little VW bug. So we actually had to leave like our suitcases and stuff at Sam's. We went back, got our suitcases, checked into the hotel. Thank God. I was not going to do the hotel on Thursday night, but then, Liz and I were talking. Liz joined us last minute, and I'm like, let's do the hotel on Thursday. Thank God we did.
Yes.
So
that was extremely helpful for sure.
Oh my God. Yeah, and it was a lot closer than like Google Maps said. It was less than a 10-minute walk to the entrance. Yeah. So we went back we checked in the hotel. It was amazing. I could have just passed out right there. And I think like Liz knew like my brain cells were fried because we were trying to figure out, because we had to go back to the con to set up. And we had to make our step and repeat banner, and we had to do all this other stuff. And literally, I'm like, let's go here. And Liz is like, let's just go to the con. I'm like, oh my God, that's a great idea.
Well, because we had like this, so we had to make the banner that was behind us in the stream.
And we needed a lot of space for it.
And we set it up like on the hotel room floor, and then we're like, okay, why don't we just like make it there?
Yeah,
why don't we just make it at the place that has a bunch of space where we're going to be setting it up anyways?
Where nobody is, like, literally. Right. And I'll have to say, like, we kind of, okay, I won't say anything like that. But anyway, we got in and we got up to the room. So we were on the second floor. When we had dropped stuff off, the bra representative was there kind of finishing stuff up. So by the time we got back, I think we got there like at 5 or something.
There was like nobody there. I think we were like the only people on the second floor.
It felt like we were the only people in the whole place.
Eventually, I think we were the only people in the convention center.
Just like, other than like security staff. I think we were, because the setup ended at like 10. They needed everybody out by 10. So it was nice, actually. Like, I felt
we were
no
definitely
pressure.
having our little cause talk party.
Yeah, and it was like so chill, like low pressure, like we were just doing our thing. And yeah, I felt really good because I was nervous the whole time about us going live, about the whole CT Lounge thing, because the CT Lounge is something that's like my dream, and finally came true at Phoenix Fan Fusion. But I was so nervous because I was like, we didn't advertise it much because it was such short notice. It's like we had never done anything like this at a con, and I don't think it's been done very often. And then of course the team that I was working with, they'd never done it either. So there was so many unknowns. Like, there's this really cute picture of Lena like hugging me as I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, oh my God. She's like, what's wrong? And like, I don't know. Like, before we went live the first time, like, I don't know. Like, am I stupid? Am I crazy? Is this weird? Like, what are people gonna think? And I'm just like, all these things going through my head. I'm like, oh my God. And it was such a success. It was so much
successful. Yeah, we had a lot of cosplayers who like wanted to be on the show and be interviewed, and they were all very like well spoken about their costumes. Like, even though all of it was, I guess it was live, it was improv, right? Like, they didn't know what we were gonna ask. They didn't have anything prepared to say, really. But everyone, like, all the guests did a great job, and their costumes looked amazing. Yeah, so it was super fun.
And that's the thing, is like, people go to these events. So this is what I was thinking, because I had people ask like, well, what are you doing at the con? What are you going to stream? And I'm like, we're just going to talk to cosplayers. And it sounded a little bit weird, but when you think about it, and cosplayers know this. Well, people that don't cosplay know this because they love seeing the costumes. Like, we were so sad when events were shut down, because like going to public events in costume is like one of the biggest parts of cosplay. Like, let's not, beat around the bush. Like, we make costumes to wear outside and to be seen by people. Like, if you don't, that's fine. But most people actually do enjoy like getting in the outfit and whatever. And so when that was gone, I feel like there was just this big, like, kind of depression over the whole cosplay community. So when we got to wear costumes again in public, I know people were so excited. Oh my God, like, I got into cosplay over the pandemic, and now I get to finally wear it in public. And when you said like that it was unscripted, Liz, like, people are ready to talk about their costumes.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, they just like, they didn't know what we were going to ask them, and we kind of asked different questions to different people too. So it's not like we could watch and the previous person and prepare either.
Yeah.
But they were like ready to go and talk about their costumes.
They were so ready. Like, there were a couple people that obviously that were nervous because it's live. I get it, but still, like, they had the passion of what they knew what they were wearing, or what the characters that they loved. If they didn't make their costume, it's fine. It was just so great to talk to everybody, and people, like, they loved it too. Like, I know I'm in front of the camera a lot, so I'm used to it. Some people are never in front of the camera. We had some people be like, oh, I shared this with my grandparents, and I'm like, oh my God, like, it's so cute. Like, I love that people loved the experience as much as we did.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and even whenever we weren't filming, there was a couch and chairs there. The setup was there, and the backdrop, so it looked really cool. I saw some people taking pictures with it, and I'm like, and I was on, nearby, like, quietly, like, working on my computer, like, spying people, like, fangirling, fanboying over it. And then there were people that were like, what's this all about? So it was great. Like, people are curious. And then, of course, as we're doing the live streaming, that's when people get even more interested. And we had lovely helpers, Matthew and Diana Macaria Drake. They went around talking to cosplayers, like, getting them to come on the show. The first one that we did, obviously, was the first one. So we talked mostly to people that we knew, We did have a couple people, like, walk up, but we weren't sure how it was going to be. But it was good. Like, I think, like, the last 2 streams was just a constant flow of, like, people coming in and out.
I feel like the stream that I hosted with you, it went by so quick.
Yeah,
I could not believe it had already been an hour by the time we got to the end.
Yeah, that was a good one. And even like the last one, I know that it's not live, but we'll put it up. It was a lot of people, there wasn't that many people in the cosplay lounge, and Diana approached them before we went live, and they were kind of like, oh, okay. But when we went live, they started like lining up. They're like, hey, I want to be on this. We're like, yeah, totally do it. That being said, I still need to follow up with those people. So if you are one of them, I apologize. I am going to get there. It seems that work things needed me more than I thought. So when I came back to work, everyone's like, "Wow, Jessica, do this and that." I'm like, okay.
Jessica, we're already at the end.
Oh, well, we kind of started late. I don't know. Well, but maybe we should. No, if you got to go, that's fine.
I'm just letting you know if you guys have any last minute questions about Phoenix to get them in the chat.
I know, right? We did a lot of chatty, which is good. That's good.
Yeah.
Sam says there's usually isn't a place for cosplayers to share their love other than contests too. Meetups are not that big in Arizona. That's true. AZ is ad hoc meetups versus convention planned. And all these anime pop-ups are happening too, but a lot of these are car themed. So even then, like, cosplayers aren't always the focus. They'll do like cosplay, like, you know, little contests and stuff. But you're right, like it's mostly just pictures. You see a cosplayer, you take a picture. You don't really get to like talk to them much. The only place they can share about their costume is like online. So I think that's the biggest appeal for the CT Lounge, was people being able to talk about it instead of just be a picture, you know. So that was exciting. Gosh, any other feedback? Any other wrap up? I did not get to say everything I wanted to say. I do say that, like, if I could do that, like what I did all weekend as a paid job, man, I would be in heaven, because that was
that was super fun.
And we got go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I had a great time. This was probably the best Phoenix fan fusion that I've attended. And I mean, I definitely, like, I participated with the cos talk stuff and panels. I feel like I hardly was on the con floor or in the vendor hall, like, at all. I would have liked to have spent a little more time there. Let's see. Phoenix Fan Fusion 2022. Oh my gosh, too many twos.
Was my first con.
How does it compare to others, as in other Phoenix Fan Fusions or other cons, just in general? Because other Phoenix Fan Fusions, this was probably my favorite one, personally. And I mean, I think the reason for that was just kind of like what I spent my time doing. Like, I spent my time doing like a lot of things I really enjoyed. Other cons in general,
I say it's pretty similar, pretty standard.
Yeah, I do think that it would be better in a different month of the year. That's my personal feeling.
I mean, the only
next year's is scheduled for June. I mean, it's fine. I wish we would. I know that summer is con season. I understand that. That for Phoenix, you should take the weather into account maybe a little bit.
It'd be great if there was a hotel attached to the convention center.
Right.
I would totally book that every single time.
The Hyatt is nice, just being right across the way, for sure, but it books up so quickly. And I mean,
well, it is pricey, and I don't like, and the elevators get way too busy.
Oh yeah,
that's the other thing.
My friends that stayed there were saying that they ended up just dragging their luggage down like 20 flights of stairs the last day.
So that's those are the difficult choices we have to make. Like, the 10-minute walk to the convention center was fine. But the AC hotel.
I mean, depending on like what you're wearing, right? Like, I didn't wear any super elaborate costumes this time. But like, if you were competing, you know, that 10-minute walk could be an issue.
Yeah. Right? And that was what was so nice, is that we had our staging area, you know, our CT lounge was great. So what Liz was saying was, like, yes, I did completely different things at this con than I normally do. I spent about 90% of my time in the cosplay lounge. Even when we weren't filming, I was like, okay, I've got some downtime. I actually had to catch up on work, or I had to like finish some stuff for like the next day or whatever. I was so bummed that I did not go to any other panels, and I did not go to the con floor. I saw lots of videos of like the con floor and like people's costumes just being filmed. I love being a part of that.
Right.
I barely saw anybody unless they came to the lounge, which kind of sucked, but at the same time, it was like the price I paid for what I got to do instead. So, I mean, I say it was the best because of I did have some really different interactions. We had some really great stories come through on the show and stuff like that. Is I would never experience that in my previous, like, con attendances, because there was just never an opportunity to be like, to talk. Like, my favorite one, of course, is the grandma furry and the son that made her costume. That was
That
my
was
favorite
a
moment.
talented kid. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Like, and
And a
his
supportive
costume
grandma.
was so impressive
Hmm.
too. I
And those
agree
are
with
things.
everything that Jessica said. Those were the same reasons that I liked it. I would have liked to have spent more time on the con
Mhm.
floor, and in the vendor hall. But like, I feel like you can only do so much. Like,
Mhm.
we were working so hard all weekend. We were so busy.
We're
And
so
like
busy.
the other, I do wish they would consider hosting it like in January or something, because like, okay, I love the food truck idea, but like when you're standing out in line in the heat, like,
Yeah.
and they didn't allow outside food in, so we would go eat elsewhere outside of the convention just
Yeah.
because you can be inside in the
Mhm.
air conditioning rather than standing outside in the line where it's hot, and then you can't bring the outside food in with you, and just
Mhm.
it's kind of that ends up being kind of a pain. I think that would
Yeah.
be like my only like real critique, is like I wish they would consider doing it at a different time of year than in summer, because I think that ends up being a problem,
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
far as like how much stuff you get to do, because you go outside the convention center to eat, and then that's a lot more time. That's like a much bigger
Mhm.
time chunk that you spend
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, because like, so Sabo happens in September, and even that's still too hot.
Right.
Taiyu is in January, which is it's perfect. Like, a lot of people spend a lot of time outside of the Mesa Convention Center, because it's got a nice area to do photos, and it's chilly, but like it's bearable chilly. You
Yeah.
know, that reminds me of like when we went to SakuraCon in Seattle. I know Sam was like very cold, but there was this big outdoor area. It was like attached to that park, and we walked around a bunch, and it was chilly, but it was lovely. I liked it because it was such a great space to and there's a big courtyard area, so a lot of people hang out there in costume. Um, Robert says y'all worked your tails off and you should be proud. Thank you so much. Like, I loved it. I'm glad that people enjoyed the experience as much as
Me
we did.
too. I had a
Yeah,
great time doing all of that.
it was so good. Like, and you were so great too on the couch. Like, oh, Liz, you were so great. Everyone that
Oh,
helped
thank
us.
you.
Yes, you were so cute. Like,
Oh.
and everybody that helped us is just,
Yeah,
I
thank you to
cannot thank
everyone
enough.
who pitched in to make the Cos Talk Corner successful. You guys
I
are
was not sure.
awesome.
Yeah, I was not sure how successful we would be, and we got so much great feedback. Sam says, oh, Ray says they didn't have much options for food trucks. I know. I don't even
Yeah,
know what
I
was
didn't
going
look
on down
at
there.
too many of them.
Mm.
And of course, like that one Starbucks that's always like completely overwhelmed in the
But it was
convention
inside. It was
center.
inside the limits, the convention limits this time, which was nice
Right.
because you didn't have to go out and then go back in. So that was nice. Sam says they struggle with the snowbird population taking the hotel blocks,
Oh
plus
my
spring
gosh.
training too. They
Right,
do tons
yeah.
of spring training here in like March and April and stuff. So
Same.
that's kind of like a dead area for events because yeah, everything, even Airbnbs are all booked up too. Any more feedback? I had lots and lots of feedback that I wanted to do. That hosting the masquerade was a blast. That was
You
like
did such a good
so
job.
good. Thank you. Me and Chris had so much fun. Like, it barely felt like work. We were panicked, like inside, of course, because who isn't? That crowd the room was full. Like, I could actually see everybody in every seat. So that was a lot of fun. We had such a great time. And of course, the youth masquerade the next day, Sam and I did, we put a vote out. And so we were Raven and Beast Boy, and we did some really fun pictures. That was my favorite part, was doing those ridiculous pictures. But we had a blast. And that kind of stuff, doing that is like where my heart is. Like, attending and doing panels is, great. But being able to like interact with people on a level that you don't usually get to as just an attendee was like definitely where my heart is. And I wish I could do that like for life, like as a paid job. I told Alan, I was like, if I can get paid for this, how do I get paid for this? How can I make this my full-time job? He's like, okay, well, how do we do it? I'm like, I don't know. Help me. So
I hope that you
definitely.
do. I hope that you make that your full-time job because you're so good at it.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, it was so fun. And I dream of Phoenix Fan Fusion, and I still have so many things to like wrap up. So that part of it, like the whole like wrapping up and the contacting people and the this and that, that's a little more difficult for me. but you know, it's been great. And this experience with iFootage, I think, was really good too. They're looking to do more events, you know, and of course, like maybe have more of a presence in conventions. So I think they got a really great experience out of it. And then of course, like AZ CosCon is trademarked. Woohoo! So that's coming in November. You're going to hear more and more about it soon. It's all going to be cosplay focused or craft focused, maker focused stuff. Everyone's welcome to come and check things out. It's going to be the weekend after Halloween. And I'm going to have a little swap meet area, kind of like a taco closet type style thing. So you can always bring your Halloween costumes and sell them and stuff. And then, so yeah, we're about to wrap it up here. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, Liz, about Phoenix Fan Fusion?
I think we covered it. I agree with everything that you said. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm super, super, super excited too. And so I'll talk about our upcoming events. So next weekend, I think we've got Original Glaze coming on as a guest.
Ooh.
Yeah, woohoo. And then we've got the Ghibli Cafe on June 18th at Miss Dessert in Mesa. And then July, I think July 16 is the Gambate version 4. Which is going to be big indoor events. That's super exciting. You're going to start seeing more marketing for that. I will be helping out with the cosplay contest then. Game On Expo is in August at the convention center. So we will, CTL, I'm going to try and have CTL have a presence there. And then Tucson Comic Con in September. It feels like, wow, are we getting busy again? Like it's all coming up again. So definitely keep an eye out for that, guys. I'll put our schedule up for the next several shows on Facebook. If you have any questions, throw them in now because we're about to wrap up here. It was fun to chat with you all. Oh my gosh, like the chat is just crazy.
I know. I loved all the comments today.
Yes,
you guys are awesome.
And Sam's watching now. So we were talking about you earlier, Sam, about, because someone mentioned they love indie comics. And I was like, that's how Sam started cosplay.
We were talking about how Sam is great at everything.
And Sam's like got clip art that went viral. And we're just like, Sam's a star. And they're like, oh my God, Sam's a comic artist? Like, yes. Sam, where is the CTL comic? Where's the CTL comic?
Seriously. Sam should make little comic book characters out of all of us.
Oh my God, that'd be so fun.
I would love that.
Because I follow I follow this blog. It's called Blogalates, but it's a Pilates. Like she's a instructor, creator, whatever, and she actually has another Instagram that just is little comics. So I think that's what we should do, Sam.
Sam, where is the CTL webtoon? Where is it?
Yeah, CTL webtoon. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up, guys.
Sam has enough on her plate. We don't need to give her another project.
I know. So we are going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for chatting with us and listening to us, ramble. We will be on next week, Sunday, June 12th. Yes, at 12 p.m. Pacific, and we'll be talking to, I believe, Original Glaze. I will make sure to put that up there. Liz, where can we find you on social media?
I am Liz from Ambrose Cosplay. You guys can find me at Ambrose_cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, Instructables, Original Glaze, all of the above. I'm gonna try to start getting back into Twitter, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Endeavor. I feel like I'm too old to learn another social media, but I'll give it my best shot.
That's kind of like TikTok. I'm like, I don't know. It's a big endeavor. Guys, I am Jinx from Jinx Cosplay. My website is jinxcosplay.com, and you can find me on social medias at the Jinx Cosplay. Super excited, guys. We love to hear from you. Always send us messages, ideas, whatever. And that's it. Oh, cosplay. Okay, Cos Talk Live. We have costalk-live.com, and we stream 2-3 platforms weekly: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. They are all Cos Talk Live. So whatever it is, .com/Cos Talk Live. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.